All right, so we're gonna go through the exercises together here. Feel free to follow along with me in this video. If you need to pause it at all to do more reps or just to kind of evaluate yourself, reset yourself, get in good position, and then start it up again and go on to the next one, feel free to do that. I'm going to go through every single one just one time. These are exercises that you can do once a day. You can do it 2 times a day. You can do a whole round of all the exercises and then do it all over again another time and maybe another time into 3 sets. I wouldn't do any more than 3 sets. I mean, you're welcome to, but you don't want to overtax your body. So listen to it after the first round, see how your body reacts to it, and then add more as you get going. But I would suggest doing it daily. I think you're at this level where you can definitely add more resistance to your life. If you feel really sore, take a day off, drink some water, refresh, go for a walk. Add those things to it. You can do exercises that's not necessarily in your studio or gym. You can do it at the dishes, picking up those heels, lifting toes and heels up back and forth. You can practice lifting heavy things by, just adding more tasks to your day. Get outside, get in the garden, make a garden, move rocks around. Those are all functional movements, and that's what these are for you to practice on to make those daily other things easier. So here we go. This should give you a good workout. It will tone your muscles if you stay diligent about it. So that's my last bit of the spiel. So the first thing we're going to do first is get those arms out, start flossing, okay? This helps with nerve function. It stimulates the muscles. It allows your brain and muscles to connect. Those nerve endings are going to get out there and do what they're supposed to do, is connect. Okay, so stay low, bring it up high, go as high as you can go without any pain. Okay, and you can see too that I'm just kind of moving my feet around. Feel free to do that, loosen up the legs, just keep moving, okay? And I would set your timer here for about 1 minute. We'll do it for another 10 seconds here, and then we'll move on to the next one. And again, remember, you can do this over and over again. Like, this is one that can be done all throughout the day, okay? So do it when you're feeling tight. And the other thing is, right after this one, I always, for some reason, I just go into shoulder rolls. It comes naturally. It's not on your sheet, but feel free to add that. Do shoulder shrugs just to loosen up those muscles and engage the right ones, okay? And then forward, back, forward, back. We're getting room in that joint to move back and forth, okay? So keep an eye on that. All right, so I think we're loose there. If you want to do a couple overhead stretches, if you're able. If you feel pain, no way, okay? All right, so next up, we're going to grab a dowel. And there's different ways to do this. So remember, pause the video to choose which one you want to do. But the first one is a standing dowel protraction and retraction. So retraction means it's really talking about scapula. Okay, so you got your 2 scapula here. They should be set on against your ribs. Okay, one here, one there, flat against them. Now, some of us have pokey little scapulas that stick out. They call them winged scapula. And that's just saying that you're constantly pulling, and I can't even do it because my shoulders don't really do that, but you have a pokiness coming out because that's part of your scapula is just not coming down, and your muscles aren't engaged enough in there to hold you in good position. So if you have pokiness, you actually might have a little bit of rounded shoulder in there. So this is a great exercise for that, but not only that, but ultimately just engaging the back muscles correctly. So that's why you're on this regimen, and it's a good stretch. So retraction, okay? Retract is pulling your scapula so that they come out when you pull your arms out. So you can think about them really extending down, opening up, and then when you pull it back in like a row, you're gonna squeeze those shoulder blades in. And see how I didn't bend my elbow at all? I mean, you can do that, but really we're just trying to keep that control just in the scapula. Okay, so my hands are low. I'm not up here trying to do that. I mean, you can, but ultimately you want to really practice squeezing in and releasing. Squeezing in and release. And we'll do 4 more. Squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release. 1 more. Squeeze and release. And if you're like doing this and you're like, I don't know if I'm doing it right, I have no control in there, that has taken practice for me. So if you're like that, go onto the floor, get onto your bed, wherever is comfortable for you, get on a mat, okay? And you're gonna do the same thing, but while you're on the floor, you can really actually feel the scapulas getting flat against the floor, which means they're probably flat right on your back, okay? Then from here, the same thing, retract, pull your shoulder blade away from the body, okay? So your hands are kind of reaching out as far as you can. Someone's pulling your arms forward, okay? And then you're going to pull those shoulder blades underneath you, okay? And you should feel that movement. Reach up, pull under. And again, pause the video to choose which one you like, okay? That one's a great one. Another one is getting on your hands and knees, no dowel, okay? Tabletop, get everything in position and lined, and then from here, you're doing the same thing. I'm gonna pull my shoulder blades, round them up. Pull them in, round them up, okay? A really good one. Now, when I was being taught in school, they actually have you go in front of a wall. Get in front of the wall, so when you're just standing naturally, you can reach out and touch your fingertips to the wall. Then they tell you to pull it in so your fingertips go away from the wall, you can't touch it anymore. And that's a good visual to see how much you can pull those fingertips back without bending your elbows. Okay, so keep that in mind. That is protraction, retraction. Really important for shoulder work. Okay, and if you can't do it, you know that that's something that you need to just work on. Mind-body connection, nerve endings, okay? That's why we're doing all that. All right, now let's get into the lower body because we're all connected head to toe. So we need to warm up these feet a little bit. Full foot calf raises here, okay? If you can do it without any support, great. Two-footed, awesome. Okay, go into it. Really try to get that full range. Okay, really try to get those heels or those toes out. That's a hard one without pushing your butt back, okay? Because this is a habit for us to compensate in the hips so we can actually lean backwards and feel steady. It's all about balance, okay? And then once you get used to that, feel free to grab a hold of that dumbbell again, or that dowel again, and practice just the calf. I mean, you can go on your toe if you want, but calf raises here with one foot and do the other, okay? Really good for balance and stability. All right, toes are forward on that too. All right, then from here, we're gonna keep moving up. So now we're gonna go into some squats. Feel free to use your chair. If you're a person who brings their knees in when they sit, like so, you need something to go around your knees. Why? Because if you're falling inward, it's saying that these muscles out here aren't strong enough to hold your knees apart and keep them within the same distance as your hips. So a little mini band, or a big one, or a fabric one, whatever you have, or even just a resistance band, a long one tied around your legs like this will help it out. Don't get it too tight, especially when you're just starting out. Then from here, we're just doing sit-to-stands, okay? You're going up. See how I'm kind of trying to keep those apart, okay? All the way up and then back down. Up and down, okay? I actually use the band even though I can keep my form. It just kind of keeps my hips in check at all times. All right, and then if you've progressed from the sit-to-stands, then you're practicing just a body weight squat, down and up, trying to go past that block line. So you're trying to get down to those knee position, but if it's just partial, that's okay. Practice there, okay, and work your way up. All right, now we're gonna go into the next one, dumbbell rows. Several ways of doing this too. It's all about your preference. And you can use dumbbells, you can use resistance bands, whatever you prefer. The idea is, again, to work this back muscle. And I'll show you one more to add onto it if you want to get a little bit more behind your arms to help with pulling, to help with reaching across. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, first one, dumbbell rows. I'm gonna get the big boys here. If you're doing a row, you know that it's some big muscles in the back that have to be engaged. So you're gonna get into tabletop for the first version. This is what I usually give people when they're just starting out and they're able to get on the floor, okay? So you're gonna lift it up about between your shoulder and the bottom of your rib cage, okay? So in between there, you're gonna lift that dumbbell, okay? And then come back down. And you're not trying to lift it high. You're not trying to lift your elbow high. It's all about that shoulder blade again, okay? That scapula. Trying to control it and work those muscles surrounding it, in it, on top of it, to engage the right ones, okay? And you're just alternating back and forth. You have to work your core in order to do that. All right, the other version is getting a chair up, okay? And this is what I've been giving some of my clients now. I'll put one dumbbell on either side of the mat. My hands are up top, okay? Holding myself just in a kneeling. I'm gonna reach across and pull that dumbbell up into a row and then bring it back down, okay? You're getting not only those muscles around the scapula, but you're also getting this serratus anterior, who has a big job in terms of definitely the pulling stuff, but also core stabilization and upper body use. Okay, so reaching, pulling, okay? And you're gonna get a core again because you have to twist your trunk in order to reach across. That's a great version. Now, if you're just starting and you're like, whoa, like I can't get on the floor first of all, or I just wanna stay standing the whole time, and that's okay, then you use your chair for support, or you use like a table or a windowsill to bring your hand on top just to support your body, because you wanna kind of come into an angle here. See how I'm straight from my head all the way down to my ankle? Okay, then this dumbbell is gonna come in that empty space, just naturally hang from the shoulder, and then from here you're gonna pull it up into that row here. Okay, exhaling every time you're exerting yourself. When you did it on the floor, same thing. Pulling up, exhale. And you're just staying on one arm, stabilizing here. Now, at the end, if you're like, you know what, I need a little bit more, hold it here. Get that back arm engaged by adding a little kickback, okay? And if you do this and you find your shoulder lifts when you kick back like that, or you have some kind of weirdness going on or pain, lower your weight, okay? This muscle can take on way more weight than this little guy back here. So keep that in mind, pull it up, kick it back. If you have any discomfort or you're just out of alignment, then switch it up, okay? So that's the kickback. Do the same thing on the other side. Switch the leg that's back has the dumbbell in that hand on that side. Pull it up and down, okay? Start with the rows, just warming up your back, and then eventually you can add the little tricep kickback, and that's optional, okay? All right, now, next one, that's 2, seated trunk twist with a dumbbell, hip to hip, okay? So you have your chair again, you're just gonna grab one dumbbell, again, start light if you're just starting out, okay? You're gonna hold each end, get on the very edge of your chair. Always check your posture between each exercise. Recheck, open that chest, head is between the shoulders. You're stacked correctly, shoulders underneath the hips. Hips are in line with your knees, and your knees are in line with your feet. So you have those right angles going on. All right, then from here, nice and tall, belly button is in. You're not sucking in here to pull it in. You're just naturally, okay, and then that exhale is gonna engage the core. You should be rock solid in there. Maybe underneath a little layer, but that's okay. Okay, so then from here, from your chest, you're going to twist down to your hip, back up to your chest. Down, up, okay? If breathing is a problem here and you're just like, I don't know what I'm doing, just kind of breathe naturally. Don't worry about it on either side, because this is a faster movement, so you kind of have to get in some kind of rhythm with just an even breath tone, okay? Pace, okay? Okay, you can make it your own, or exhale down. Okay, and that's that exercise. Okay, and then the last one, we have to add some kind of plank. Now, I don't want you to get into plank unless you are absolutely ready for it. So, with that said, get yourself on top of a windowsill. Bring your feet back so your heels are lifted. Hold yourself here at first. See how long you can hold yourself. If you can go over a minute, that's when you know you can progress. And you go down to a chair level, or maybe something in between. Okay, here. Again, bring your feet back so your heels are risen. Elbow or shoulder is right underneath that hand. Hold, okay? Stabilize. See how long you can hold it here. If you get pain or you can't hold it for very long, stop. and do it again, okay? Or just go through the whole exercise again, okay? If this is easy and you get to a minute and you're like, yeah, okay, I got that down, then your next step is to either, and I won't show you both because, you know, it's pretty obvious at this point what we're doing, but you can bring it down one more notch into like a crate or a bench that you have, okay? Down on your stairs. Hold it there. Last one is on the floor. You can do modified by bringing your knees down and holding here. Again, hands are right under your shoulders, or you're holding that tall plank here, or you're gonna bring it all the way down on your elbows, eliminate the whole arm, okay? If you have elbow issues, this is a great position to be. Hold it nice and tall, length from your head all the way to your ankles, okay, and holding it straight. And your goal is to beat 30, and then always beat that 1 minute. It's a good goal to make. Okay, so those are the exercises that are specific for resistance, okay? So you feel free to add some stuff in between or in the beginning just to warm up, especially with a dowel or a chair, something very simple. Go for a walk before you start working out. Do something in the morning. If you're a morning exerciser, do something before you start doing it, because if you start to pull up those muscles, you might overstretch it, overstrain it. Who knows? There's a lot of things that can happen. All right, so those are all the exercises. Again, go through it the first time, see how you feel the next day. If you're good, go through it twice in one day, 2 sets. All right, and you can block them out too. Do them during your day. Do just 2 during the day. Bring some to work to do it then. All great ideas, and keep this as a reference so that you can refer to it when you need it. All right, that's all I got. Look down below for the markers where I left all the exercises, where you can click and just like see that specific exercise. That's really helpful too. All right, that's all. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.